Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to another TCGScrubs podcast. We're here with our normal crew plus one. We have Mike from DeepWood-FOW here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
It's a normal crew.
It's basically as different as it always is. We're going to have a lot of topics we're going to be going over. We're going to talk about our favorite cards from Winds of the Ominous Moon, thoughts about the next cluster going back to Valhalla, as well as the sort of new direction Force of Will is taking the product and all that, and the ban list and all that. So before I get started, as always, huge thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/TCGScrubs. They're, as always, what makes all of this possible. With all the stuff that's been happening with the podcast and the channel and everything has been really awesome, so huge thanks to them. And also, if you guys are looking for Force of Will singles, sealed product, and Caster Chronicles singles and sealed product, be sure to visit the link in the description below for Happy Little Hug Factory, especially up until, I believe it is Friday. In the description, there's a code there, and on all Force of Will company singles, so that's all Force of Will singles and Caster Chronicles singles, excluding Winds of the Ominous Moon singles, you get 20% off, just all of the singles on there from Force of Will and Caster Chronicles. So just be sure to click the link in the description so they know we sent you, and then when you're in there, just paste that code that's in our description as well. And yes, that goes till Friday, which is, in case you guys are watching this super late, it's the 8th of June. So you're watching the past June 8th, then tough luck.
That's mean.
That's rude, man. Jeez.
Yeah. Treat our listeners like that.
They're the one watching this late. You guys are. They're probably the people who are going around like 3 years after Portal came out, like yelling "the cake is a lie" and all that. No one likes that.
No.
So, Oscar, you want to just roll us into our business?
I mean, something we have been talking about since either last podcast or over spoilers is which cards would end up being our favorite cards from Winds of the Ominous Moon, which comes out this Friday.
Oh yeah, I guess it's not. But yeah, that was pre-release.
Yeah, we did pre-release.
It always throws me off.
Which, if I might brag about pre-release, and I didn't tell Joey this yet, and Mike, you don't know, I guess, but I opened up my sealed packs, pulled a Rhea. And then I get my prize packs and I open up and I pulled Feetsync and I was like, I'm done. I did it.
Hey, there we go.
I also heard you and Colin got a dead last.
I was about to say, all the people who thought Oscar was like, hey, so you guys didn't know I got first place. No, he didn't at all.
I thought it was gonna be weird that you're bragging about something like that.
Oh yeah, no. My prize packs were the participation prize packs. We got 3, so.
Good old participation trophies.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the randomized playmat, so we all came out winners that day.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
I'll probably be giving away that playmat, so.
Yeah, we had tons of them.
Yeah, no, I'm not very good at sealed. I always get, because like I go into sealed and I pull all the cards. I'm like, oh, that's a cool. That's a cool combo. And I wanted, so I just end up usually running 4 colors because I don't know what I don't want to pull.
Did you watch my pre-release primer, Colin?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, it might have helped. You know, you might have
Joey never watches our videos that we do. So.
Yeah, Joey's never watched a video in his life.
Not even podcast. He's not here.
Yeah. But how was your? Did you go to pre-release, Mike?
We did. I actually ended up pulling the Feetsync, which was super nice because I was like, all right, if I think Feetsync's going to be as good as Feetsync's going to be, I'm going to absolutely pull her. Didn't get to use her, obviously, so I came in like 3rd to last.
Yeah.
We even had some new players in there who destroyed me, so that was great.
Oh, nice. Not nice you got destroyed, but nice you got
yeah, Joey, they're like, oh, I drew this.
No, we got new players, which is good. Our locals took a little bit of a hit recently with a lot of management changing, so being able to get these new players in and just teaching them the game has been oodles of fun. I'm such a big proponent of teaching Force of Will that it's been just like so much fun for me.
See, it's fun to me too, but once I'm in the moment, I get nervous. Like, am I saying everything in the right order? Am I overwhelming them?
Right, yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
I tend to, like, I feel like I'm okay with teaching, but then I, like, don't know, like, where the barriers are, so I just keep talking about stuff, and it probably like just like overloads.
Really?
It's too much information, and so it all just becomes white noise at a certain point. When
That's weird because like the berries are usually on the card, Colin.
So, anyways,
I also kind of stresses me out teaching because after teaching so many people, it's like you're at a tournament and someone goes, "Hey, I don't know, Oscar," and everybody turns and like they're looking at me. I'm like, "Oh no, I need an answer. Hope I can answer this." I'm not that great at rules all the time.
Oh yeah, forget about it on rules. I've gotten so many rules wrong in the past. I just have to like, sometimes I'll like just call up David Nicholas and be like, "Hey, how does this happen?"
Yeah. There you go.
I hated when we were at our ARG and I forget who was hosting.
Oh.
But, you know,
Chewy.
they asked me the like how does Prison of the Lunar Lake stop titanium? And I was kind of like, no, I don't think so. Oh god!
But you wouldn't give that answer. You kept like, hold on, let me find the evidence that says no. And I'm like sitting there. It was me that you were ruling, by the way, against my opponent.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
it doesn't do it, guys.
Your opponent, so
Let me play my titanium and go on.
it's just like all of my rules knowledge like flew out the window, and I was basically like, no.
And that
but
happens. Like
but
us
I'm
three
pretty sure
casually
not.
sitting
Like-
here. Like
like,
we can
I feel like
like
you need to back it up, you know.
yeah, like us casually sitting here, we know like the rules and how they work. But then when you're on the spot like that in front of a tournament, you're like, I don't remember nothing. But anyways, we've diverted pretty far from the fact that we're really picking our cards. Or
real quick before I forget, if you guys have any comments about this or anything you want to talk about next time or anything like that, you could there's a phone number you guys can call and leave a voicemail, and it can either be comments about past podcasts, current podcasts, things you want to talk about, anything like that. Number is 512-522-4188. Anything at all.
you can even call and say hi to Mike. He won't be here, but we'll let him know.
You mean it?
Yeah. I'll forward you that voicemail.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Unless a bunch of like mean voicemails, like oh.
Yeah. Hey, I don't like Mike. Can you forward
Like-
this voicemail to him?
Hey, Mike, we got no voicemails.
Hey, no voicemails are good voicemails. I've learned that from working in sales.
So speaking of Winds of the Ominous Moon, now that we've like had the pre-release and everything, we'll go ahead and talk about like what our favorite not favorite cards for the pre-release, but favorite cards just in general from Winds of the Ominous Moon. Not necessarily what we think are the strongest cards, although that could be your pick, but like just our personal favorite. I think I said top 2 cards from the set. So I think Joey said he wanted to go first.
I usually end up going first.
Because you get wine when you don't go first.
It's true.
Yeah, do it up, man.
My second favorite card is Ray the Dark Owl. Was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. But really, his flip side is really where I think it's at. It's a 0, and he has a super cool ability where he basically protects all your entities for like one like ability or spell cast kind of thing. And really, like I think it's a super cool like mechanic and everything, and I think the card's strong. But really, I just love 0. So like it's all that, but it's really just 0. And I think
I see you're a man of culture as well.
yeah. I love I love playing 0, and I like her design and everything too. Just she's awesome. So
Little Witch Academia, the card.
yeah.
That it was a no, I agree. I really like that card a lot actually. I was able to trade. Oh yeah, Joe. I was able to trade for the. I didn't pull any, but I traded for a full art of it, and I was so happy.
Spicy.
It's so pretty.
Yeah,
But
I like that like you can play her outside of like IMO. Like she doesn't require your like jailer to flip to inverter. She just like she works on her own engine kind of.
She just is.
Yeah, and like I love that she kind of like gives everything pseudo barrier. So like yeah, I like her a lot, especially with like all this like kind of like removal floating around and stuff. She could be pretty important. But my second favorite or my first favorite card, sorry, I'm sure you guys all knew when I saw him, it was Inherit of the Stars Gil Lapis. He's just like I really love playing Gil. I love his design too. I played a decent amount of the original. Gosh, was that like the Twilight
Wanderer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Like I played a decent amount of him in that, and then I played him. I played his red black version too, and I like him a lot. And so it's super cool that he's coming back as like the hero this time. And he's like green black, and I love like the mechanics of like he's like the second card that can't be canceled. He's got barriers, so he's gonna like survive for a long time, and then he's like pretty big, has flying, so it's beefy, and I love him. So
it was Moonlit Savior.
Huh?
The Moonlit Savior.
Oh yeah, I'm dumb.
Yeah, I didn't think I was right on
Twilight Wanderer was Dark Alice, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Correct.
No, that's cool. I will say I'm super surprised because Joey is a big fan of flavor on cards that he didn't choose a card that literally makes flavor and is a cook and is super flavorful on how it works. I'm super surprised you didn't pick that, Joey.
Yeah,
just based on the flavor.
I like Sylvia, but I like both Gil and Zero better. I honestly played them
Zero on her board.
Sylvia.
Why did I come onto this podcast when everybody was just going to be making memes and puns? I'm among my people.
Besides,
by the way, if I can say real quick, Gil Lapis, this card was great in sealed. Like the people who had it, it's like cool. I have a flyer with barrier, and it's 1,000. Just keep swinging at you, you know.
Yeah, but did you guys watch my pre-release video? Like, yeah, he was probably like the second or like third best card. Yeah. Okay, tell me, did anybody have like issues with the Earthquake Observer? Like, was he like really strong?
He was played a lot. Okay. I played him in I think one or two people I played play him.
Well,
the people I played didn't have it.
Maybe I vastly like overestimated him because he got called in last place. So we're second to last. I don't know.
I don't know if it was him as much as not too much counters and not enough stuff to do. I don't know. I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Big thing is that there's a lot of there's a decent amount of single target removal, which he's really good against, but also there was a lot of just like precision resonators and a lot of stuff that buffed the precision resonators. So a lot of the time it was just like, all right, he played a quick observer on 3. I'm just gonna keep playing tempo. All right, cool.
Yeah, I did notice something I hadn't like talked about in like the whole like pre-release primer and stuff, and like something I've never really considered playing like Force of Will is like I have more of a background in like Magic, so it's like I kind of read like, oh, this card has like precision, and I kind of like brush it off a little bit, but like it almost is like a removal on a body, because like I think Whole Pig is like a lot better with his swiftness and precision and stuff, and like I usually kind of like gloss over it, but I obviously shouldn't, because precision is pretty good. Yeah. So I have to start like remembering that and like actually valuing it more as I do more of these.
Yeah. I like your picks. I really like the Gil Lapis as well. I think he's really great. I'd like to build something around him as well. See how we can make all the color elementals work together in a green book.
I want to see that. I want to see just an elemental in the same way that I want to see like a pure Piggy Keurig deck. I want to see a pure elemental Gil deck.
Mm-hmm. I just want to see pigs. Nothing but pigs. All pigs all the time. 100%.
I'm super sad we didn't get a pig ruler. Yeah.
Yo, it's just gonna be buff Piggy next set. It's just gonna be Piggy's face on just like the buffest body you can imagine.
So Joey went first. What are your picks, Mike?
All right, so I had to go back and forth on a lot of these because I actually just finished up a video with my Joe over in DeepWood, going over our top cards of the set, and we only started doing Light and Fire so far, so this is a little bit skewed. My number 2 pick is Wellsir, the Archmage of Fire, because that card is some spice in Wanderer. Holy crap. Let me tell you. Okay, so we've already started theory crafting with it. So you pay 2, you grand entrance him, great, you know, he's entered. So you're basically on 4-wheel with this combo in Wanderer. You play Rewriting Laws, and then you copy Rewriting Laws with the other 2 stones you just used to play the Welser, and then you go off. So we're thinking some spice. Deepwood is thinking of the spice already, so no worries there. Don't you guys worry at all. And the fact that he just kind of comes in as a 14/14 body. He is also a quick cast blocker, which is really nice. He can only be played on your turn, but that's fine, whatever. But if by some reason he gets rested and you're playing Lumia, he just comes back in and he sticks. So
I think that's like has some like very interesting, like, if you can like cheat him out and then, like,
if you're running Rewriting Laws, you'll have recovered stones that are producing any color, so you can just slap down an Orfica or something.
Orfica's good. What else is good? Oh, the new Aura of Hope, where you just rest him down, or even Shining Strike to rest him down. Copy the Shining Strike, get another target, draw 2, flash him back in.
Yeah. No, I really like Wilson. Like I think he's like probably like one of the first cards we've gotten that copy spells, right?
Yeah, he's one of the first. I guess Sherry technically counted, but fuck Sherry.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to be censored? Oh, jeez.
No, you're good.
No.
Okay, cool.
So I loved a lot of the copy effects in Magic. So like this is just like I love this a lot.
Yep. Welser is just like built for memes, and if we know me, I'm building memes.
Golly, oh man, I'm just thinking more of stuff. Yeah, like on your opponent's turn, being able to play an inverted Burgeoning Despair or whatever, to
copy it,
banish 4 resonators.
Do you play Magic, Mike?
I do not actually. I actually came to Force Will from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Hearthstone backgrounds.
Nice.
Some friends of mine actually tried to get me into Magic, but after playing Force of Will, I'm like, why are my stones in my deck, and how can I get them out of there? Like every time I go into the late game and I top deck a land when I need a big counterplay, it was just like the most awful buzzkill, and I'm like,
really hard to go back. It's like it's really hard to like justify Magic and like stones in your deck, and like I don't know, I don't like it. But there's this really awesome card in Magic that they released like a couple sets ago called Narset, and it's basically like you attack, you exile like the top 3 decks, and then you're allowed to play copies of those cards. And it's just like I just love everything that like copies spells. Like
people at people at my locals were talking about Narset today because some of them play EDH, so that's where they always talk about it.
She's an absolute beast in that. But yeah, she's so like that, and like copying spells. Like there's a ton of other stuff that copies spells. I'm sure a lot of people in EDH love copying spells.
Yep, absolutely, and I'm so glad we're finally getting it here. And it's on Welser, who's like one of the. I love Welser's age design. He just looks like a decrepit wizard, and I was so mad that I made a prediction a long time ago for the lore, where I thought Welser was the precursor to Mylest.
Oh.
And I'm so mad that didn't happen, because I'm like, oh, it's a ghostly flame, he's barely hanging on to existence. And then they just shafted my ideas, and I'm like, oh, no.
I'm super curious what's going to happen to some of these characters. Man, I'm hoping since we're... no, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll wait to talk about Valhalla.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. Sorry, I'm getting into that. Right. I should be talking about my other favorite card.
Yeah, no. What? And your second pick?
Number 1 card from the entire set, Light Palace. I love Light Palace. Oh my god. So, fun story. Earlier this week, Joe and I were testing out a couple of decks with all the stuff from Winds of the Ominous Moon. The first one I tried was one that my friend Jacob had been building, which was basically just Tempo Imul with additions. So the first thing you would do is just kind of establish a board, put out good 1-drops, Flute's Water Dragon, Ancient Automaton, not an Ancient Automaton, Protector of the Frozen Casket, Keeper of the Frozen Casket. I'm so bad with names. And then stuff like Faria, stuff like Zero's Familiar, and then once you've built up a full board of that, you Judgment Your Imul, pull a light castle off the top of your deck, your entire board, if you have the Zero's Familiar out, gains barrier, flying, and drain.
Ooh.
And you swing with everything, and everything gains plus 100 for each different race. Almost everything in the entire deck has a different race from each other. There's like Faria is a paladin, Zero's Familiar is a beast. Keeper of the Frozen Casket is an ancient and an automaton. So that double counts it.
Yeah, that's
so.
Oh, I like that a lot.
So I turn my board sideways. He has to block with everything, and I go up to like 7,000 life on my first swing. And it was
that's awesome.
The spiciest thing I've ever seen. So the card's giving a lot of good vibes for me. I'm going to try and experiment with that Imul deck. We've been trying to decrease the number of spells in the deck just because we want like to flood the board as quickly as possible. But we're trying to find good ratios for everything too.
That sounds good.
No, that because I really loved that idea, because the idea of like, oh, even if your J ruler doesn't have certain attributes, just, you know, even if it's on the fly, you give your like, say you run a sprinting flame horse and put it on your J ruler, and all of a sudden your entire field just has swiftness. All of a sudden, just like little things like that, I don't know, in my head sound like super fun and cool. Just like you put everything into your J ruler, and then you put this in the field, and all of a sudden just like everything on your field is your J ruler.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Barriers is very interesting. I think when we first saw the card, we all kind of jumped to fair, and basically like he just has to give himself barrier, and then everything on his field gets barrier. It's like, that's some good protection right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of just like really, really sick stuff. If you guys don't already know, I don't know if you guys, how much you guys watch of Deepwood, but I'm kind of known for making Imul decks without the inverse mechanic, which is sort of the calling card at this point.
Yeah.
I did the quick cast control Imul that I got first place with in New York. Now I'm doing stupid garbage with Light Palace, trying to cheese out wins. I will never ever play actual inverse cards. I'll probably just keep finding new uses for Imul's other stuff.
Colin's shaking his head. Yeah. No, she's pretty good with everything except her core mechanic.
And she's still bae. Don't worry, it's fine.
I'll make her inverse stuff work. Don't worry.
All right. Godspeed.
No, that's all. I really like that field card too. I was trying to think of different uses for it as well. And I like that it's like blue and yellow, because it's so many cool deck ideas from that.
They're just like bad colors that work well together.
Yeah. And if it was like red in it, then be like, ooh, this could end up hurting really bad. So I'm glad that it doesn't have red in it, because you could do some damage.
They gave red okay tools, except for Whole Pig Squadron, which is like probably one of the grossest card designs I've ever seen in the game. But whatever.
They heard people like pigs, so they gave us so many pigs.
They gave us too many pigs that we could count. All of them have swiftness. Swing with pigs. Sack it to Thuga.
If you're J activated, give your J ruler barrier with this card, and just have a bunch of barrier pigs with swiftness and flying and.
New pig reveal. Replace your ruler with Piggy.
Oh my god, I would play that. That would be cool if that was one of the 3 mystery draft rulers at least. Make one of those Piggy.
Yep. Make it buff Piggy. Cut out the picture of Piggy from the card. Put it on your J ruler. Your J ruler is now Piggy.
That'd actually be now I'm thinking of like a really cool like mechanic of like this card becomes your J ruler.
But now I'm thinking of like the Magic Unhinged set where it's like cut out the picture of Piggy from the Piggy card, paste it with super glue onto your J ruler.
I would love to for Force of Will to do a joke set like that at some time. Like, golly, that would be so fun.
Oh man, I came up with some ideas for Force of Will Unhinged a long time ago. I've had one that was like Jason Sims' Crux, where if the character has an undeterminable gender, you destroy it.
Oh man.
That's excellent.
We should like do a well. Yeah.
Yo, if you guys are into crafting a forcible unhinged deck, I'm in.
I am totally down for that.
Scheherazade confetti. If you're playing in Wanderer, tear up your Scheherazade and throw it over your opponent's board.
No, I was gonna say mean things, but I won't.
So, Colin and Oscar, what are you guys' favorite cards from this set?
Yeah. Getting back on subject.
Get back into it. So I'm gonna go next. See, these are my favorite cards, but one of them's a little expensive. But it's still they're both pretty expensive. Looking at them again. So the first one, and I know it'd break it if it wasn't this cost. Lorite 7 Disciples, which is a 3 cost.
Oh yeah.
It would have been great if it was just 2 green, but still, it's a great card.
No, it would not have. You get the. Oh my
I can make him Colin mad.
Leave.
But like 3 cost 7/7.
Leave
comes
my
in.
leave
It's
my
like a 9/9 with
podcast.
swiftness.
Oscar, it's in a green deck. They're gonna have Sacred Elf. It's not a 3 cost.
Anyways, I thought it was great. I didn't. It was in that deck.
It's a great card.
I played it against you the other night, Colin, and I never even pulled it. And there was like 2 of them or 3 of them in there.
Really?
Yeah. I like it. And then
I guess you only played 1 Lorite too. You didn't even play that one.
Yeah, I know, and I had 4 of them in there. But
yeah, no, I was playing activate abilities out the butt too. I was like, "Oh, is he gonna lure me?"
By the way, I want to mention Colin had his Panda deck in both games. Got me down to 100 life consistently. I was like, "Wow, Colin, I'm really."
I know. Well, that's the aggravating thing. I was like, this deck is pretty consistent at doing 3,900 damage in one turn. I switched some cards out though to try. Yeah, I put a card in there to try and fix that. So we'll see if I can get to that 4,000.
I was like, I don't want to admit it right now. I'll admit it later, but this is really good. I was like, that or this deck I built is just complete crap. Which I was trying to do feet soon.
But yeah, no, I think 7 Disciples is really good. I'm curious if it'll actually see play. It'll definitely at the local level see play, but
I mean, should it live that next turn? I mean, just give it something else. Like, I'll have flying now.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's weird. The only problem I have with that card is that it encourages you to play Lorite proactively.
Yeah.
Which is so weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess if you try and like get like the smallest bit, like just like play it on like any activate ability, just so you can have him out. But yeah,
right.
It feels bad. It feels bad playing a card to.
To give like we gave it a 4-star rating just because it constantly gains. Oh yeah, by the way, we do star ratings on the Deepwood stuff, but 4-star rating for that thing just because it does provide a lot of value over time, and if you have Lorite, it just is bonkers.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, no, so it's like probably by turn 3 you're playing it if you are playing it. So I feel like by that time, as if you have a Lorite in your hand, you've probably found an opportune moment to cancel an ability at some point. So odds are you have a Lorite in your field.
Yeah, but it's like, do you want to cancel a ability or do you want to cancel like the ability? Like, the one that's gonna kill you.
It's okay, just play it in Guild the Gifted Conjurer and just keep recycling it because that's fair.
See, I think that's gonna be super. That like, if I'm gonna make like a Inherit of the Stars deck, it's probably gonna have it's definitely gonna have Lorites in it because that's just bonkers, and so I'm probably just gonna play his Gifted Disciples on top of that. So that's like 12 cards taken care of.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a pretty good card with versatility, but also potentially just if you have Lorite on the field, then it's just ridiculously strong.
It's cool too. It's a cool card. It's got a whole bunch of like hooded guys.
Yeah, what's better than that? Just guys being dudes.
I'll say it again. Remind me of Attack on Titan, like how everybody wears their little green.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's got the hoods and everything too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magical School Anime. Lorite is the teacher. Cancel your grades.
Oh boy.
All right, so moving to my next.
Your next one.
Yep. This one goes down to Ayu. And I was torn, like, should I pick this one or should I pick the one that recovers or souls from graveyard? But I went with this one instead, and that's the End of Possession. Now it's a 3 cost, it's a lot, but the fact that like if I had Pierce in that turn and I'm trying to swing in and they block something big and I can turn it into a 0/1, like that's awesome. That's like a lot of damage going through,
The Pierce is actually something I totally overlooked. Yeah.
Or one or if they don't block, it's essentially a buff for your ruler.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Problems you have to play it before you actually discard any of the souls. So
yeah,
the timing going into it is really weird, but because of that, it's actually really cool. It's well designed.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll definitely put one of them in my IU deck.
It's at least worth one slot, Oscar.
Yeah.
Yo, put a playset in. A full one.
No, I agree. This was I ran this at Sealed, and it was super awesome. Just be like, boop, that's a 0/1 now. But I agree. I thought when we went over it, I thought it was super good for an IU deck. The 3 cost kind of sucks because odds are you deactivated long before that. But if you had your field card out and you're constantly dying and judgmenting or some variation of that, then you might have gotten up to 3 stones at some point.
Yeah, and then like
I won't spoil the. Oh, I won't spoil the rating that we gave it on the set review that we did, just to save Oscar the headache. But
It's not good.
Go check out their video. Find out. I'll find out soon. But yeah, those are my picks.
Awesome. Those are some pretty good average picks.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go with Dragon Lord Ragnarok for
Ragnarok's cool.
the IU support and stuff.
yo, Ragnarok's bae.
Yeah.
I guess so.
you're into dragons, I guess.
Big old
I've heard dragons. That he's like a top tier waifu.
Yeah, top tier waifu. Draw your deck, baby.
Then discard it all to blow up like
discard it all away. Destroy the board. Do it.
I really want a full art of that card. I'm never gonna run it, but I just full art.
I pulled a full art today of it. That's right. That was the last thing I forgot.
Nice.
I'll post that on Forcible TCG US. I'll post it in After Dark and be like, "Hey, guess who pulled waifu?"
I pulled a 4 of whatever time card that's a 1-cost chant. You grab a card from the top of your deck, and then it has the God's Art where your opponent doesn't have a recovery phase.
Oh, we didn't pull any of those. Oh my god.
I pulled 4 out of it, and I pulled 2 cards that could produce Time Will, so I was able to run it, and I got it off like 3 times.
Wow.
I was pretty happy about it. I played against
your opponent's
one guy.
Turn.
Yeah, I always waited until they like tapped everything, and then I was like, now I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
But I played against someone who had just started playing Force of Will like a month ago from Magic, and
piece of shit.
So you were just torturing this new guy.
He was not happy. He said he would probably reconsider playing Force of Will now. So that happened.
And hey, but was it worth it? Did you win? Did you do good at the tournament?
First off, I didn't expect that reaction. I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to play this card. He won't recover. He's probably going to win this, which he ended up winning anyways because he was fucking populating his field faster than I could deal with. But I was like, I'll do this. Maybe I'll be able to come back or something like that. I did not expect that reaction. And I was like, no, it's fine. This card's almost unplayable in the current format because of there's stuff that removes graveyards, stuff that cancels ability, all this stuff. But he wasn't having it. But
Oh my god.
my picks... So I have my second favorite pick, which I'll go over the reason in a sec, is Gemblade Amethyst. So this is the 5-cost 1,000 Panda. You pay 1 void less for each gem you banish this turn. The reason I really like this card is it has now enabled a pretty consistent free turn 2 1,000. You don't spend any will. You just get 1,000 turn 2. Probably a good 80 or 90% of the time, because I feel like it's pretty consistent. You're able to pull a gem out turn 1, because all you have to do is you start the game with a light gem, play gem mallet turn 1, get 2 light gems off of him entering the field, and when it comes back to your turn, you tap him, banish 3 gems to produce 2 light will, and you put him on the field, and you haven't even spent your 2 stones that you've called. And so now you got 1,000 and 2 stones to just like wreak havoc with, and then he entered the field, so you gain one of those light gems back anyways. So I really just love the idea behind that inside of my Panda deck. Like, I really like that a lot.
Hey Colin, you're gonna enjoy the video because we spent about 2 minutes tearing that combo a new asshole. We were literally just talking about it. I'm like, this thing is such a pipe dream. And then you come up with the exact pipe dream I had.
We'll see. I'll show all of you. All of you.
Listen, here's the first TCGScrubs DeepWood crossover fight between not that panda and my panda.
I will 100% do that. I'll go make it for the panda deck right now. I'll go make it.
There we go. Boom.
I'll fight you.
Let me just grab the power gems, the technique gems, and you're dead.
It does seem like pandas has I feel like they've been pushing a lot of mid-range panda stuff, and
they definitely have, yeah.
This is it's turn 2, but that's mid-range in Force of Will, so
right. I don't know. They've been back and forth. A lot of panda support starting from the cluster's beginning has been a lot of mid-range, but every so often they just print a snippet of low cost, and I'm just like, Panda Swarm is happening. Rose Quartz is gonna be good.
Yeah, right. Like Rose Quartz is the perfect mid-range card for them.
Literally, it's because the combos I've been doing. I used to run a long time ago. I ran Panda Swarm before we got Gem Mallet, so that's how OG this was. I had to run black, blue, white in Severing Wind's Otherworld Dreams format.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
So the first turn would have to be Corrupted Panda.
Yeah.
I don't know. My panda decks have been all over the place, but golly, they introduced Gem Mallet, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then they introduced 2 more 1-cost pandas, and I was
I just nut. I nat.
There will never be a turn where you don't get a free light gem in addition to playing just 1-cost rezos that are passively higher than average 1-cost, because by playing that panda, with Tigress you meet the effect to get buff at 1/1. So it's awesome.
Yep, it's crazy strong.
My first favorite card on the set, and this is more in line with the direction that I'm taking my panda deck that Oscar saw.
Oh god.
And the reason I love this card is Arrival of the Hero.
Yeah.
This is the 2-cost quick cast. If you control a J ruler, this card is free. Choose one, prevent damage, that doesn't matter. Second effect, destroy target rested resonator. So this card is freaking amazing in any deck that J activates, but and also it's awesome art. But specifically keeping in the theme of my pandas, it's so good because the thing that was blocking panda from being good is there's so many ways to block people, whether it's just with regular things, even if you give them flying, there's so many low-cost flyer blockers that people run, different things like that. There's no reason you J activate mainly for his burn of his dark gems and stuff like that, and this is the hugest, one of the biggest, several different ones, but one of the biggest incentives now just to go all in on his J ruler side. And it's a free card that destroys a resonator. It's so cool. Instead of yellow.
What you're saying, Colin, is that you're playing panda bombs, right?
Maybe.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, we were
I'm so proud of you.
Going off that. We were actually talking about Arrival of the Hero a lot, both before and after the video was made, because we kept talking about what applications that card has. Obviously, it's in decks that want to J activate really quickly. We already said Ayu is gonna love that card. New Feet Sing is gonna love it. But then I was like, all right, let's get a list of whoever Judgments for 0, because that sounds like fun. And then I started coming up with theory crafting for a Kaguya 4.0 control deck.
It has a good point.
And you just Arrival the Hero everything, and they're just okay, I guess I can't hit you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if Fox is judgmented, then you could play it in one.
You play it and then you omit something, and then
White Fox. Ooh.
What? Well, you don't even need to play White Fox. You just play Black, Green Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You don't even need a color to play this card.
Yeah, you're just playing Black, Green Fox, and then it's oh, you're dead.
Well, I'm just saying with the Light Palace or whatever white edition field card.
Oh yeah, the Altar. Okay.
Yeah.
Altar's a good card.
Yeah, like people have already been playing that card. So, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's spice. Again, we're coming up with spice today, guys. Demonic Dead's still legal in New Frontiers. Break it while you can.
Fuck, he's coming back. He's coming back.
Gosh, the saddest thing was like, who was it? Someone on the US group posted like their interpretations of a lot of these sort of semi-broken cards, and like what they would look like if they're more balanced. They had done Demonic Dead, Lorite, Severing Winds, and stuff like that. And I was reading them all. I was like, man, these are like really like good. Like this is how they should have been printed, type of thing. Like it's very obvious like changes to them. But I was like, oh, these are cool cards now, and like changing Lorite to blue and stuff like that.
Blue green. I'm like, oh, the savagery.
Did they like balance Griffin, or were like did he
Griffin? Yeah, did they?
I mean, they didn't ban it. They didn't do it in that exact one. But honestly, I did the video on Griffin a long time ago, and I'm just like, change it to 1 stone, you idiots.
Yeah, just like have it.
Yeah, the 2 stones was so weird to me.
Like, yeah, I feel like 2 stones.
Hey, by the way, you're going plus on your stones, and you get a Gwyber. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, right. It's like Colin. I don't always agree with you, but when you talk about them, like, you know, let's just make it like 1 card, and then somebody's like, I'm gonna +1 that. It's like, no, just stop at the 1 stone.
First off, Joey.
Me, Joey. Go ahead.
You know,
I just said Joey only agrees with me when it's stuff that he doesn't like. It's not that what I said is invalid about other stuff.
I love Griffin.
Well, it's like me and Joey had a theory on like how they create these cards, and they're like, oh yeah, no, Griffin, and it pulls 4 stones, and they're like, that's a bit much. Or, tell you what, we'll do 2. All right, that's better. It's better than 4.
All right,
my theory about the one guy in Forcible who just loves green, and he always pushes like the most bullshit green cards.
It's like they went to go print Severing Winds, and they're like, all right, Severing Winds, cancel this target spell, and if it's the second spell you played, you recover 4 stones. They're like, wait. What if we just made it so it's free instead? And he was like, all right, I'll compromise with that.
What if we just made it free, no prerequisite?
I want to know, like, you know, speaking of, like, you were talking about Lorite 7 Disciples and stuff, Jeff Finnegan had specifically said that he had stopped some crazy green stuff that was coming out in this set. And we never talked about what we thought those would be, but just like off the top of my head, like what if like Lorite 7 Disciples was like you said a 2 cost or something like that, and it was like 1 green, 1 void or something like that.
He did say he stopped them, and then later on said he tried to issue his you know what he thought should be stopped, and then they didn't listen. So it sounds like
doesn't mean they. No, it sounded like he stopped at least some stuff,
things.
Just not everything.
Oh, you guys want to know something interesting? Actually, when we were doing the list of cards to include on there, since we're on the subject, we were going through the number of light, number of fire cards, and everything like that. There are a mismatched number of cards in the set, so I think because Jeff said this was a lowered set compared to old ones, I think he was able to pull out like 20-something really busted cards.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Gosh,
I'm assuming that 10 of them were Regalia.
I would, they reintroduced Regalia.
Yeah,
I would love to talk to him sometime and find out like what some of this stuff, even like hinted at some of this, what some of this stuff might have been.
Let me tell you, I friend requested
Jeff, I'm sorry
him.
that I made you mad.
Yeah, let me tell you. Listen, guys. I don't know what our relationship is right now. Jeff, I friend requested him so long ago. He's been liking and loving all my posts, but just nothing on there. I don't know what's going on between us. He never does this. Jeff, if you're out there listening, baby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
Speaking of Jeff, I want to throw this in real quick, because it was shared on Twitter and it had permission to be shared on Twitter.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to share it here. But
remember to put this in the video.
I will. This is a little reward for those of you who are still here. Roughly 40 minutes later. This was from his pre-release this weekend. Shared by somebody in attendance. I thought it was great.
Beautiful.
When I look at that, I hear a sound effect that is being made, that's being multiplied by 6. Just like,
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Savagery.
There you go.
This. So much fake Grand Order in the background. Oh my god.
Yeah. I think Oscar and I were talking about like Jeff had mentioned he watches our Epic Stories games.
Yeah.
And like he like watches our like podcasts, like watches our channels, like, but he just won't come back to our podcast.
Yeah, we've invited him twice already. Come back, and he's like, "Oh,
calling you out, Jeff. I'm gonna make you angry again."
Listen. Now that you guys had me on, he's never coming back.
Listen, Jeff. I'll blame it on the PTSD, but what did we conclude that it was me talking about Lorite?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your assumption on how it needs to be ran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually.
I stand by that until we get more info. But I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. I'll scale it back.
We thought Lorite, when you said like he was a necessary evil, maybe like Lorite was part of Green's answer, and there would be other, like, every other color would have answers to these like broken combos. But who knows?
And then none of the other colors had answers because green was green. And somebody on the design team thought True Blade was a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
See, True Blade originally did 1,000 though. They toned it back.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Man, True Blade used to target face? What?
Yeah.
That's that damn.
If you value your opponent at 2 cost or less, you can True Blade them.
All right,
Agreed.
guys. 1 cost, 1,000 damage to target resident. That's 2 or less. Well, no, that's way too strong. Well, maybe we can give it remnant. What about that? Like, all right, the power's been toned back a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah. So real quick, let's move on to the ban list.
Yeah.
Or ban list,
yeah.
or what
ban
should we
list.
talk about? Ban
Let's
list.
go to that ban list. Yeah.
We had our sort of real quick. So, what were your overall thoughts, Mike, on the ban list for people who don't know?
I was super happy with this ban list. Actually, it hit most of the points that most of the pressure points that a lot of players have had. A lot of pressure points that I've had playing in specific formats, especially now that after going to GP Providence and testing for Wanderer, I'm in love with the format. That's one of the big things. I love playing with the older cards in conjunction with the newer cards, and I think the ban list was just really healthy for the game. I'll do the totally wide thing. Fuck True Blade. I hate that card. God, if you rate your opponent's deck as a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck, just clear their third-rate deck. But it was just like the card was way too strong for everything that it did. I know that a lot of people talk about it being like the thing that stops Sacred Elf and Ramp from being a big thing, but I have never found, like, obviously Ramp is insanely powerful and really, really strong, and it lets you do cheesy stuff, but I like cheesy things. I like the fact that certain cards let you ramp up into a large amount of cheesy things, and that's always been my main modus operandi for Sacred Elf and other mana dorks like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how did you feel about them, like, about Jeff saying that, like, I don't know if he said this or what their deal with was, they didn't end up banning Cthulhu because there were answers to it, I guess. How I interpreted that.
I can somewhat agree with that because they're still printing really good, cheap 500 damage things, like Raise Gale out of this set was a really good answer for that. But I think that with the amount of support that Kyric's getting in the current set, some people, I know that John Ball, who was in the finals of GP Providence for the Wanderer event, was like, yeah, the format's going to be like 90% Kyric, and we don't have Otherworld Dreams to stop first turn Egg with Energize anymore. And I'm just like, Wall of Wind is the exact same thing in that exact scenario. Like, we still have busted cancels. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's as big of a problem as we're seeing. I still think Kyric's going to be representing about 45 to 50% of the topping decks, but I think that we're going to see a pretty wide variety past that. It just depends on, what your tech options are for the Kyric deck. Shayla, I think, is a fantastic matchup against it now, because not only do you have Lightning Cave to slow them down, but now you have the Pathway Part, which is another one of the possible cards I had in my top two cards, because Pathway Part is just grossly powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I love that card.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one that puts in a 2-cost resonator, or I'm trying to remember?
Oh no, that's Restoration. Path Through Part is the one where It's either deal 600 or return something to the hand, and it
Oh,
costs
right.
blue
That's
less
free.
if you're Keurig and red less if you're Shayla.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love.
Yeah, that
I
card's
love.
super strong.
It's like a double multi-mode card. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I love multi-mode cards. If you can't tell by my love of the card Jupiter, Warlock of the Woodstar, 4 options.
No,
So, but overall, you were a fan of most of the bands.
Yeah, I definitely was. I think the only thing I was at all kind of weirded out about was the banning of Ginny. I didn't really agree with that entirely. Ginny, I know, is an insanely strong card, but just in like the Tempo Sherry variants. But with Eva gone, there's really not much you want to be ramping into with that, because the best 2-drop card in the deck after that is Scheherazad's Marionette. It's just so bad. So I don't entirely agree with that. And then for Wanderer, banning Sherry was such a necessary evil. There was nothing in the Sherry deck that you could ban that would make her less powerful. That was the craziest part of the whole thing. Because she was basically Reflect Refrain at this point, where any movable shell that you could use within green and probably a little bit of other colors, if you could move it into Sherry, you could make it work. We saw that with Joe from Deepwood getting second place with Scheherazade Myths, Scheherazade Control with no dolls coming into the top 8. They forgo... You get free quick cast on dolls, and they didn't even use it because it wasn't good enough. And just... it was so nasty. So, there was no reason for Scheherazade to be in Wanderer. It's just too good for what it does and too varied for what it does. It was basically like... It was Reflect Plus, depending on the deck that you were building, because you already had naturally built-in synergy with it.
yeah.
And now I want to see like Reflector Frame with Change the World versus Sherry.
Listen. We can Change the World's gone. I think Reflect's fine. Morgiana coming back has people worried, but I'm just like, listen, Pumpkin Witch is gone. You're not doing the shenanigans that you did back in Alice's World format. That was just asinine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Oscar was excited about Morgana being unbanned.
Oh yeah.
Morgana, but no Guinevere. Rip
Oh,
in
yeah.
pepperoni.
Yeah, that was the one when I saw. I was like, no, why Guinevere? I have so many of the dual deck versions of her.
I'm still under the impression that Rook Egg was always the problem, but at the same time,
Yeah.
Guinevere gave way to so many degenerate garbage decks.
Yeah, it was my favorite was Turbo Feetsing. So when I saw it was gone, I was like,
Yeah. Oh. It's okay. We got Feyre now. We can put out turn 1 Guibers. It's fine.
yeah.
I still like the pipe dream hand of, what was it, Sacred Elf into Guiber, sack the Adam Brawley, produce green, play another Guiber. That's my combos.
Do you prefer the ban over a straight Sherry ban, having just the support band in New Frontiers?
Yeah, I definitely support that way more, because it first of all, I really like the fact that the Forceful team, I know that Jeff has a heavy hand in it, but they've been trying to really differentiate the two formats, which I think has been a really, really smart decision, because anytime I'm like, man, I really just don't want to be mad at Severing wins today, I just go over and play Wanderer. And if I'm just like, you know what, Regalia Rush just, isn't tickling my butthole today, let's go back over to New Frontiers. So, get a lot of that, and the fact that having Scheherazade banned in Wanderer means that you're free to play anything. You're free to play Reanimator again, which is unreal. I am so happy about that. But then in New Frontiers, you go back and you're just like, alright, Scheherazade still has her consistency tool, but she doesn't have all the gross, stupid shit that she could do in Wanderer. Joe and I have actually been working on Deepwood Joe, not Joey here. I've been working on. I have to keep saying it. Oh man, we've actually been working on attempting some kind of OTK with Sherry now, because she still has the consistency. And one of the cards we didn't really talk about much before when we were talking about our favorite cards, the 1000th epic for the a heroic epic for the 1000th night. The red black put something into play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can cheese. You can cheese really hard on turn 3. If you see your opponent has no will open, you go. And that's the craziest part of that whole thing.
That's the one that I'm making the deck for, right, Oscar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came up with. I'm not gonna say it in case it's complete shit, but I came up with it really, I feel like a super interesting deck idea with that has nothing to do necessarily with the resonator that's put into play, and everything to do with the ruler now has access to something that we've never seen a ruler do before. So I'm super excited about that card.
Your GILL deck?
Whatever that spells.
I don't know why you spelled it. That was weird.
I was trying to do the whole like parent thing, trying to.
Hey, it's okay. I didn't know which gill it was.
Well, we'll say yes. It is the gill deck. There are only 3 right now. 3 gills.
So
we'll let you guys figure out which gill that is, and you'll know if it's good or not because you'll see a deck profile for it, or you won't.
There's so many deck profiles I haven't seen.
They're stacking up. We're waiting for the new set to come out, so I'll start filming some stuff with that cool tent right there.
One thing I do want to say about the ban list, though, not in a million years did I think we'd see Fairy Spell get banned. That was probably one of the most surprising things I've ever seen. I'm just like, all right, good news. I can play my quick cast Imul deck again without fear. Bad news.
Do you think it was too strong in Wonder?
It might have been. It kind of gave the same... pretty much most of the non-super niche one-cost cancels were just way too powerful for what they were doing, especially when they were in New Frontiers... not New Frontiers. In Wonder, where you just get into those like cancel wars after cancel wars. If you guys remember the the meme that was posted where it was just like Kaiba showing a Fairy Spell, and then Yugi picks up a card, flips around its Fairy Spell, and you can see him getting mind blasted. And I'm just like, oh, that's exactly what it feels like, though. I can't believe they captured it with some garbage card game. I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, it's interesting that in Wonder, we're up to, 3 cancels that are banned now in Wonder?
Yeah, and that's...
And there's still a crazy amount of cancels.
Yeah, but the thing is, the rest of the cancels are all either really, really oddly specific, like Seal of Wind and Light, being, shoehorned into new colors. Like, I can't do the stupid Imul garbage with Seal of Wind and Light. But also Wall of Wind, we know, for Spike, but that's infinitely worse while it energizes in the game, which is a really important fact. And it punishes people for trying to curve out too hard, which is fine. That's something I'm totally okay with, because you have to be able to kill eggs on turn 1. What else?
I always loved Wall of Wind.
And then you've got, like, Zeke's Keen Sense.
Yeah.
What was the last one? Absolute Cake Zone.
Absolute Cake Zone.
Funniest name in the entire world. And then big ones being, well, we got some higher cost ones, Vanish, Exceed. We got Final Brief still in the game there, and we've got the new 3 cost that removes target spell from the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That thing's
redonkadonk. Unreal, and it's still just like really good for that format, because obviously Wander is really, really fast. But even if it's fast, you can still maintain a slower game because you have enough control tools to do it, which is the huge, huge part of it that I really love.
Man,
there are a lot of.
Yeah, and there's also Millennia Bond as well, very specific. If we're talking about specific targets.
Millennia Bond, I kind of fit in the same category as like Absolute Cake Zone. They're kind of like the same card, except it's like a worse Seal of Wind and Light and a worse Absolute Cake Zone.
Yeah.
So.
What I'm trying to think. Was Joy there for our band video?
No.
What were your thoughts on the bands, Joey?
I really like that they took a softer approach. Like, I like that they banned like Griffin for Fox, and like they just didn't outright ban Fox. Like, I wish they would have banned Change the World sooner and like left Refrain open. Like, I feel like they could have done that maybe great. Like, whatever. Like, I feel like maybe they could have done that for like when he was still in New Frontiers, maybe, I don't know. But so like I like the approach of like ban their support cards, like soften the blow. Like, I think they did a good job with Fox, and I like that they're not banning Sherry because people want to play a Sherry deck. You know, I kind of got into this argument with Colin where like if you ban Sherry, like you can still maybe like some of the cards like Ruin Story and stuff, like you still get to play those in other decks, but like then you're not playing a Sherry deck, you're playing like, you know, in Forcible you don't play like green black aggro, you know, or that sounds terrible, you don't play like green black mid range stuff, like you don't play like blue red control, you know, you play like whatever the ruler is and then like mid range or whatever. So like you don't.
I
play,
disagree.
Like, a Sherry
you don't.
deck.
But people aren't like picking Sherry because they want to play Sherry. They're picking Sherry because they want to win, which is a problem that we've had quite often. It's not like, because the ideal format for me is like, oh, I like this ruler or this type of ruler, I'm gonna play that. We'll see. Like I always say, the format in between LEL and RDE where people were just playing stuff, and that's I think what you're talking about, Joy. But that's not necessarily what we're seeing with Sherry and stuff like that.
They're still playing them to win, and like my thing is like people. Yes, people.
Yeah, but they're modding decks to win. They're not modding Sherry to win. They're modding tons of stuff.
But my point is like people want to play. People want to have like a deck. They want to have an identity when they play a deck. Like Sherry is still like you're playing your Sherry deck and like you're playing. I don't know. So that's just me. Like I feel like.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it just would have like. I feel like it wouldn't have been the right idea, and like too much of an approach, and they can always do it if this doesn't pan out. But
I mean, I saw a post from Jeff in reply to somebody asking why they didn't just ban Sherry, and his response is like, "You're not trying to stop her; they're just trying to slow her down, so her other options are still viable."
Yeah, it's like you don't want to nuke her as a ruler.
But it's like her ruler is like. It's not like, oh man, if Fox has this unique thing, Jay flips, brings stuff in, banishes, kills stones, you gotta run the support to make it more quickly. Sherry's like unique thing is, hey, you get to start the game with 10 cards, have fun. like that's her defining factor, and then the dolls are just a happy second thing.
Yeah.
Happy ending.
Big thing though that I think was really important for Sherry not being banned is that. Obviously in Wonder it's fine to have her banned because it's a more expanded format. It doesn't matter, you know, what's currently in rotation. If you ban Sherry in New Frontiers, the Time Spinning Witch set, about 20%, maybe 15-20% of the set is garbage.
Yeah.
Which is the only problem, because they're all super tied into just the legend mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my main fear with it that I don't know if I'd mentioned before, but like is that if anything happens where they have to either ban another card for Sherry, if Sherry is still prevalent, anything like that, if anything happens with Sherry at all in the future, then it's infinitely worse, I think, than if they had just banned Sherry at the front. And that was my main concern is like with how precarious the company is right now as far as like how they're doing and all that. My fear is that any type of misstep from this point on is infinitely worse than any missteps they've done before. Where like when they, instead of banning Reflector Fane, they printed Black Moonbeam, which just made problems way worse than they were before. And instead of banning Prisha, they banned Levitine and stuff like that, and which didn't help at all.
Levitine needs to be banned after Baja Blast format, so whatever. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, it should have been banned as soon as someone like read the card when it came off the printing press. Like, wait a sec, I thought you said these were ruler specific. They're like, yeah, they can be used with rulers. Like, what? How cool would all those regalia have been if they could only be used with it? Like if Levitine could only be used with Melgus and stuff like that. How cool would regalia have been? Like they were just like flavor to be used with rulers.
I agree.
The zero cost would make sense. Like
I still think they should have been just like you can only have one regalia at a time, because that makes sense, because it's just like I'm imagining somebody playing like Regalia Rush Kane, and then Kane's got like swords coming out of his teeth, out of his eyes, or like he's holding him with his toes, and he's just like, I have all the Regalia, I'm gonna kill you.
Like Joy's Zero Bomb deck, where she's just like all these swords, and like something that's like making her fly as well, like whoosh, 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 and she's like, I'm coming at you.
I remember that with like a Lumia deck too, when Lumia the Saint of Creation was first revealed. One of my friends was like, hey, I built some cancer. So he just played the Saint of Creation, put the top 3 cards of his deck into play, removed from the game, and he's like, "Oh, all 3 of regalia. Here you go." And he flicker her, play her again, get the things again, play the things, do the.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
That's like pretty much the Charlotte's. I forget what the card was, but the
Scarlet, the Crimson Dust Girl.
No, the Charlotte reveal the top card of
Cheshire
of your yeah.
Cheshire's Assistants.
Cheshire's Assistants.
It's basically that, but not an FTK.
Yeah, so,
yeah. When we did that demo video or video showing the gameplay, and we're like, yeah, this is kind of ridiculous.
We even play it right, but we were still dumb.
Yeah, we messed up. We missed out on like 5 plays, and we still like got it all off correctly and stuff.
No, yeah. There's no way to screw up that combo. It's just like you hit a Horned Sacred Beast, and you're just like, all right, I guess that works.
Yeah. I'll see how the ban. I still too. I think Lorette should have been banned, but for not even for I mean, obviously it's super strong, but just for like gameplay reasons, I think it sucks the fun out of it.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. I didn't want to see it banned in New Frontiers because I think there's too many good just like recurring ruler enters that occur in that format, but in Wander it just shuts out so many old rulers that just were tied to a very specific enter effect. Like, I can't play Val 2, and if I can't play Val 2, there's no reason for me to live.
I think a card like Lorette should definitely exist. I think Lorette as it exists right now, being a one cost, being a green, and also being a body on the field after you already had the effect go off. I think, like, if it was a 1-cost quick cast blue that had the exact same ability, I think it'd be perfect. I think it would slot into, it would do its job. I don't know about perfect. I think perfect is a strong word, but
so hear me out. Hear me out. I think Keys' Call should have targeted J Resonators.
Yeah. I think it should target.
No, I was saying that Keys' Call, since it just targets a Resonator's ability, should have been a J Resonator. It would have been put into the same category as Glimpse of Kaguya. Glimpse was such a even powered, perfectly balanced card. Keys' Call doing the same thing would have been fantastic, and they're just like, nah, let's just print both of them but better.
Speaking of Kaguya, like, what would have been great is if Keys' Call was like 1 blue, 1 void. So it's a 2-cost, and then if Shayla was a ruler, then it was the 1-cost.
Yeah.
So you have that incentive now to play. Because I still hold to Shayla has so much potential. I think just the power levels of the other ruler might be shutting her out, but I still think she has the potential to be super strong.
Especially now with the Pathway part. Especially with the Pathway part now, she's got like a really good tempo game now, and all of her like aggressive mid-range resonators. I'm still under the impression that the Last Thunder is going to be used phenomenally well in her deck. Some people have been doubting it.
I got bored of that too.
Because I know that a lot of people are talking shit about that card because it's just like, you have to put 4 spaces in your deck. I'm like, yeah, you thin your deck by 4 and clear the board. What do you want?
Yeah. I said the same thing about Feast Scene. Like, just run 4 of that 2-cost where it grabs auras, and then you play it, and you just grab the other 3 that are in your deck, and now it's at no loss to any of your other auras. You're not worried about losing out of them. And you've just thinned out your deck, and inside of especially inside of like what I think Feasting might be, being able to thin out your deck and get rid of that card specifically, especially, but still getting its effect could be really helpful.
Right. A lot of that, although actually Joe and I had to rethink that card because we were like, oh, it thins 3 cards out of your deck and you just put a bunch of remnant stuff in the game. That's great. And then Trueblade got banned, and we were like, we lost some stuff.
Just put 3 Trueblades in your graveyard.
Yeah. Hey, no big deal. Let me just deal 5 damage to that, 5 damage to that, 5 damage to your soul, and we are good to go. All right, done. If people played Flame Dragon, you could kill it when it entered the field. Yeah, because it's a 12/12 for 2.
I keep forgetting that card exists. I'm like, oh yeah, that card exists. I should revisit that sometime, and then I forget about it again.
Honestly, I would actually be playing that card if Severing Winds was not in the game.
Yeah.
Big thing.
It sucks because I'm like, that's true. I'm excited for next cluster, not Severing. And I'm like, oh wait, then that's going to rotate. Well, Maybe in Wander Severin's is banned too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look towards Wander again.
I don't think
Yeah, because one of the main things that I was trying to think of was like a Charlotte Null control deck, where you what was it, Heavenly Fruit, discard your hand, and then suddenly you have the Void cost activated, so you play both Votosaurus and the Flame Dragon of Altia for 2 apiece.
I love the idea of like a Charlotte Null aggro deck. Like I tried to make one and it didn't pan out. Like it was basically like chuck a bunch of stuff into your graveyard and then like play them with I think it was, I'm trying to remember which card it was, but one of her Null cards lets you play it from the graveyard, and it has like swiftness and stuff. And I don't know, there are definitely a couple of like cards I really wanted to try and get. Like I think it was just like you just get to like play a bunch of like 1-cost stuff from your graveyard, like chuck it all in there and then just start playing it. And I'm really sad it never went anywhere.
I know. Hey, in Wander it's actually going to be really good, because first of all, Sherry's not there, so she can't just, at full consistency remove your grave from the game.
Yep.
Which is, always nice to not have that happen. Because I sure do love having quick cast removal for all my things.
Oh yeah. I really liked Heavenly Fruit though. I thought it had a lot of good potential, especially playing quick stuff like from your graveyard just seemed very interesting.
Yeah, I do love that.
I agree.
I like the null mechanic, if only it wasn't inherently hampered by the fact that you can't play control with no hand.
And it's like, yeah, it's very frustrating. It's like, hey man, let's like you're rewarded for having no hand. It's like, yeah, but then I have no hand. I'm gonna lose because I don't have a hand.
No, it's okay. There's a card that can play your graveyard. It's like, oh, it's cool. All right, cool. I'm gonna remove your graveyard. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Oh.
I was like, maybe if
at least I can chase it by playing stuff. No, you can't chase it. Well, why? Why the fuck can I not chase it? Why is that printed on that card? You're already removing my graveyard for such a low cost.
Don't worry. That card used to do a lot more. It's nerfed now.
It's like null. It gets +2/+2. It's like, what the fuck? What kind of a fucking buff is that?
Here's your reward for not being able to play. You get +2/+2. It's like, well, I could just play cards that give it +6/+6 instead. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
You get extra damage, guys.
Yeah, I was expecting null to be like, the only way for null to work, I think, is to borderline break it. And that's how you get null to work. Is like, oh shit, if I have no hand, this is +16/+16. Okay.
Yeah, I really like the I forget the name, but the red-black card is like the only null card that I really.
Null Darkness. I love that thing.
Null Darkness.
What if? Oh yeah, Null Dark is ridiculous. But like, what if every null card had a null ability that gave it barrier? So like, if you're able to play out, at least your stuff is protected because you can't play back. And if you have cards in your hand, they're like, okay, I'm gonna damage that. You're like, oh, in response, I'll play this to do some random effect. And now they all have barrier because I've no hand.
Oh,
stuff like that would have been.
No,
cool.
what if the null ruler did that? And while you have null, while you have no hand, all entities you control gain barrier.
Oh yeah.
Oh, entities.
I like that a lot.
Golly.
How about that? Hire me, Jeff. Put me on the design team.
I know that Scarlet's not green, but you can break it a little bit.
I'm okay with that.
And like, spoilers, we make it a black-green ruler.
I love how like fast Scarlet was, and like how like she could like ping stuff and then like attack again, and like I love the idea of Scarlet. I love how aggro she could have been.
Oh, Joey, if you like Scarlet that much, play Wanderer, because I helped pioneer some garbage. So
I saw somebody with was it the Regalia Rush? Scarlet?
Yeah, the 32 Regalia, 4 Cheshire Cat, 4 Shackles of Ice, because we're that people.
I saw that on stream, I think.
I feel like Joey's tagline every time he talks about Zero Bomb should be, I help highlight some garbage.
Yo, but you can actually smart. You don't have to play the Shackles of Ice anymore. Sherry's gone.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, Spice, 40 Regalia.
Reflector Plane's still there though.
That's
Joey,
fine, whatever.
You should figure out a way to play your Zero Bomb deck and also cheat out is it Grim, the resonator that makes it so it's one light less to J-activate, and so you can cheat out 2 of those, and then you just Judgment for free.
Jekyll and Hyde, right?
Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah. And Miss Hyde.
The Miss Hyde is the shitty side. Don't worry about it.
Hey, whoa! She's a strong, independent woman.
I still don't understand that card, because is it 2 separate people, or is it still the same person? Like, listen,
transitional periods. Okay, give it a sec.
That's a fast as like, oh, you J-activated. Give me just like give me 2. Wait, 1 month? They're saying 1 month. Give me 1 month. I'll be back.
Man, I don't give enough credit to drag queens, man. Make changes
that's true.
fast.
That'd be legit. Just like,
yeah, Miss Hyde's a drag queen version of Dr. Jekyll. I'd be
if
on
they made
that.
a drag subset for resonators and then printed a bunch of it. And
you mean Vingolf 1?
All right, before we get too off, we should probably wrap this up. go. We'll talk about some of the other stuff we teased in our Patreon mini podcast. But thanks, you guys. If you guys are still here, put in hashtag drag resonators below so we know who you are.
And confuse the crap out of everybody who didn't make it this far.
Well, make it incentivize people to be like, wait, what did I miss out? They're talking about drag resonators? But
listen, get Mike on the podcast, and immediately the follower count decreases by like 20%. It's
great. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mike. If you guys aren't already following, I'll have the link in the description. But over at DeepWood Force of Will, they have a lot of like you mentioned, a lot of interesting stuff going on. Some
we make memes.
not mean them up to do inverse resonators apparently, but whatever.
Well, we do good memes.
That's the best one all night.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Thanks for watching.